let me start really fast. I think bicycles will be replaced by e-bikes. I'm an e-bike fanatic. And don't get me wrong, I've spent all my life with bicycles. So I spent all my life from maybe now 39 years with bicycles. I was racing bikes, I was repairing bikes, working in bike shops as a student, whatever. So I really love bikes. But anyway, I think e-bikes will replace bikes quite fast. Something about my background really fast. I'm an automotive guy. I'm an automotive director or whatever, manager. I had like 350 employees. I worked with all the automotive standards and so on. So I have implemented all my work also to my e-bike business. When I was 33 years old, a decade ago, I said to myself, I don't want to waste my time in the automotive industry. I want to do something that I love. And I wanted to 3D print e-bikes. When I found out it was too soon for 3D printing and too soon for e-bikes, I have opened my e-bike shop in 2012. And that was the way that I learned how to work with the customers, how to understand the market, how to understand the products. So at the end, I sold myself personally e-bikes for some 4 million euros or dollars. So not my company, but I did it. So I really understand how to do that. We were doing some fittings and different kinds of showrooms, different kinds of sales processes. We also did many repairs. So I personally repaired some 4,000 e-bikes. I trained the mechanics also. So this is the background. And in 2017, we finally 3D printed the e-bike. That's the blue bike on the left here. And I'm fanatic into e-bikes and everything about the future technology, bikes, business, sales processes, whatever. So I've created eBike Future Conference in 2019. This year in October, it'll be online, 5th edition. So make sure to be there. It's going to be the best speakers from all over the world. And now let me show you some data about my company. I made lots of mistakes. I made lots of mistakes in my e-bike business. And this is how I got started. I started in 2012 with slow sales, and it took me 5 years to grow my small shop business to $500,000. Somebody thinks it's okay. I think it was really a waste of time. So, because now I already know that you can build a business from $500,000 to $2 million in year one with e-bikes. I didn't know that at that time. And I started like this. I bought this book, How to Sell When Nobody is Buying. So this was my book to help me in 2012 because nobody really wanted e-bikes. Nobody really knew what it is. So it was like kind of hard job at that time. And here from 2016 to 2017, I wanted to grow 3 times. And this is what happened. I went down. I made lots of mistakes. And this was the money that I took from my children's piggy bank. This is the true picture, by the way. This is not a joke. This is real. So we had no money for food. People wanted to kick me out of the house in 24 hours. So I had like really stress. And at the end, I have created like 350,000 euros of dollars debt. So it was like quite a bad thing to find out after 5 years in business, right? Yeah, so, and this was the building. You might laugh. This looks like a really joke, like from an old movie, but this was our next showroom in 2017. We started to do business in this showroom. And I was like really down, and I have borrowed 2,000 from my employee, and we have flipped the bikes and made 550,000 in a few months. So what I've learned in this is like you can really sell even when nobody is buying, and even if nobody wants to mess with e-bikes. You can really sell these machines because it sells itself, right? I was working too hard sometimes, so I got in the hospital a few times from being overworked, whatever. So this is the message. Be really careful how you work. You better work smart, use your head, use the knowledge so that you don't make the mistakes, because it'll take your time, you will waste time, and you will waste lots of money. When we had those hard times, it was great. At the end, it was great because we learned a lot. We learned how to sell from pictures. We increased the performance 5 times of our repair centers. We have increased the performance of the sales guys, and we never lost money since day one in the new business. So this is really important. And our productivity, for instance, in the repair center was 30% higher than the industry high standards. So it's like really, it helped us at the end, but it was hard. So now I help different people from different companies with their e-bike businesses so that they don't make my mistakes, don't waste time, and use this opportunity. For instance, this is one of my customers. He was producing bike frames. He needed some revenue streams. We have created a repair center in 3 weeks. After a year, he took in new employees. He grew the business. For instance, I help also people from other industries, ski guys transitioning to e-bike guys in the summer, whatever. For instance, these guys went to zero to 900K in year one. This guy is a cook. He had the restaurant. We helped him open a rental center. Now he already sold his restaurant. He has only the rental center, and with the money, he's building a new restaurant. So whatever, anything can happen on the market. For instance, this is another guy. He has zero experience with e-bikes, and we have built a state-of-the-art repair center for bikes and e-bikes. So anything is possible in the market. And what's the takeaway? The takeaway is like, even the newcomers sometimes can have better results than people that are for decades in the industry. This is important for you. So if you're new, maybe you can do a better job than people from the industry because they think the old way. An e-bike business is not the same business like the bike business. It's completely different. So this is what you must understand. I work also with some brands, distributors, and other companies. Now let's get to the main topic. So this was the introduction. Let's get to the main topic. I think now is the right time to speed up the US e-bike market. And I've been waiting for this market to wake up for years. And now it finally happened. I will show you some data later. But anyway, I've been analyzing the data for years. And now I spent few months in the US checking out the shops, the players, riding. I was at the CES in Vegas, talking in some industry events. So I really wanted to understand it much better so that we really know what's going on the market. And I think for me, the results were really shocking of this whole analysis and of this time. And what was the result? The main result was like, the opportunity is huge. It's really huge. I will show you some data. Now, I will give you some introduction so that I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. You've probably seen some industry reports, what's going to happen with e-bikes. So you see here that like the annual production of cars, annual production of bicycles, and the annual production of bikes. Whatever the data are, but anyway, here are some of the two main kind of like trends. Somebody's expecting that this market will grow 2 to 4 times in the next 5 years, or 4 to 15 times in the next 10 years. Super variable, we know. But anyway, what does it mean? And it's already happening now on the market, and you can see on the many players that the market is growing faster than the players on the market. And that's why anybody on the market has a chance to succeed. And you see it on the no-name brands, on new products that, for instance, you don't know how to sell your track bikes, but somebody else is selling 20,000 Chinese e-bikes on the internet. You just don't know why. Anything is happening now on the market. But anyway, this is important. For instance, if you would sell in 2023 1,000 units and the market would grow 15 times in the next decade, in 2033 you would have to sell to stay at the same level 15,000 units. So you know what it means. So I don't know who you are and what is the size of your business. Maybe you're selling only 200 units, maybe 1,000 units, maybe 10,000 units. So it depends. But anyway, you can't do this volume without changing all the processes in your company, because you can't sell 10 times more with the same process, same staff, same training, and same logistics. You understand what I want to say with this. Now, I'm not going to mess with data, but anywhere you see the data about e-bike sales is going like really up. So I didn't see any report recently or in the last 5 years that would show like it'll go down. So it has really a huge potential. And let me show you I think this was one of the best reports maybe from 2 years ago, and it showed the levels of the market. It showed that the European market was supposed at that time to grow from 4 to 18 million units, and US market from 500,000 to 2 million units. We already know that this is wrong. We already know that the data are already higher. But anyway, this is what it shows. It shows that the European market is years ahead of the US market. And let me show you some exact data. Because if somebody splits to you like this big data, thousands of units, millions of units, you don't know what it means on your local market. So you have to think on your scale. So what it means when you count with the population, so European market on average in the next decade could sell to around 2% of the population per year. So for instance, if the country is like 100 million units, it could sell to 2 million people per year. You get the data. US market is on 0.3% of the population per year. And the current level is around 0.17 or 18% of the population per year. So what does it mean, like in an easy way? If we take the European number, the 2%, you could sell 20 e-bikes to 1,000 people. If we took the average US number in the next decade, like you could sell like 4 e-bikes to 1,000 people. And this is what's going on the market. And you can think like this: do 4 people in my like region need e-bikes? For instance, can you find 4 people from 1,000 who need an e-bike for the wife, for the family, for the kids, for sports, for recreation, cargo e-bike, whatever? So I think you really understand that you could sell this number to anywhere in the world, on any market in the world. If you're in a city, if you're in the mountains, you can be anywhere. If you have winters, if you don't have winters, it doesn't matter. You really can sell this volume anywhere in the world right now. And my experience is that you can sell, if you do your job correctly, you can sell to 3% of the population in year 1. So for instance, if you're in a city with 100,000 people, you could sell 3,000 units if you do a good job right now. But it doesn't happen itself. You just can't wait in the shop. You have to do the job. Okay, so this is what's really happening on the market. The black line is expectation. Like everybody expected that the market will grow, let's say 10% a year. But the market is really growing 20% a year. And this is called an exponential growth surprise factor. So this is like, nobody is ready to supply, nobody has the right products, and nobody is doing the job on the market. So that's why you see new players now jumping into the game. That's why you see automotive industry, motorcycle industry, ski industry, no-name players, startups, making even a better job than established bike brands. So you see the opportunity is here, and it's because the bike brands didn't do the job at the right time. But the e-bike game won't be about the bike brands. This is important to say. Okay, and this is the growth of my local company. So the local company could grow even at 70% rate a year, even more if you do your job. So be really careful how you think about your business, and don't think too small, because if you think too small, you will grow too slow. So try to grow a little bit faster. Now, let me show you some examples from Germany. Let me tell you why Germany. Germany is probably the most developed e-bike market on the planet, and it has a kind of like a big volume. So there are 80 million people in Germany, and they've been selling e-bikes since, let's say, 2008. And here you see the progress. Germany is blue. So they have been growing quite consistent since 2008. And even after a decade of intensive sales, the interest in e-bikes grew 23% year over year. So this is the potential. So if US is starting to selling right now at some nice volume, what can you expect? You could expect something like this. You could expect consistent growth in the following years. There'll be no miracles like huge up or huge down. It'll be consistent growth in the next decade or more. And let's see what the future will bring for the Germany. I will show you some more data. So the takeaway from this, the market can grow really consistent with an intensive sales for years. And these are the units in Germany. So the Germany was selling like 1 year ago, 2 million units per year to population. So it's like, I think it's 2.4% of the population. So Germany was already selling to 2.4% of the population per year. So if US is currently at 0.17% of the population, you see that Germany is selling maybe, I don't know, 13 times more. I know the culture is different. I know the country is different. So you have to think different on your market. But anyway, this is like to give you a basic idea. So what I found out about the US market, sales numbers are growing. And what is important, the demand is growing. So the customer demand is already there. Number of players is increasing, but not too fast yet. It'll increase a little bit more. And you have also big players and small players that are coming to the market. There are not many strong e-bike brands yet playing really a strong game on the US market. Also, any particular industry, we can't say like the bicycle industry is the strongest because it's not. Automotive industry is still weak. They already made some mistakes with e-bikes, so it's like really small. Motorcycle industry even worse. So nobody's really playing a major role. Retailers, standard retailers do their standard job. I don't expect that they will play a major role with e-bike sales. I think the biggest players with e-bikes will be e-bike specialists in the future. And I also mean like e-bike specialists in retail and e-bike specialists with the production. So I mean the brands. Now you see the news, like everybody's stressing out, like Red Power Bikes is laying off employees, Specialized is laying off employees, whatever. This is happening because somebody didn't put the right product and the right business model into place. So anyway, don't listen to the news, pay attention to your local market, because the overall news say nothing about your market. You have to be careful what you think. For instance, if you're a local player in California, you play a totally different game like the whole of the US. So think about what you listen to. Be careful with the news. Anyway, what I really think, the opportunity right now is huge. And I think now is the best time to play hard in the US because it's still quite empty. The market is still quite empty, but it's already growing and the demand is here. So for instance, if you would start pushing hard 2 or 3 years ago, it would be too soon. Now it's not too soon, but it's also not too late. So I think this is the right time. 2023 is the right time. And the people are stressing out. So that's the best, because if everybody is stressing out and you won't stress out and you will do your job, you can grab the market position. So now let me show you some real data. I don't trust the industry data. I don't trust these graphs that I showed you here. There are some industry data, some guys who in big buildings think they know something about the future, but the future is changing every day. Nobody would expect war in Ukraine in 22. Nobody would expect whatever. So you just have to have an open mind. And that's why we have created some real data, and we have analyzed all the Google data in the US. And this is the truth. So there are 313 million US people that have access to the internet, and this was the sample for this report. So what you see right here, there are 4 big countries with their search volume. So this is the search volume of 100 top queries in the US or in Germany and France and Canada. So you see on the Germany, that's the blue line. The market had like a peak in 2020. But anyway, if we would do some kind of trend line, you will see that the German market is still growing. Can you see that it's still growing? And it's a European market, so there is like strong winters, summers, and then strong winters. So that's why you see the difference between the summer and the winter. And then you can check out the US line. US line is the red one, and you see that it's also growing consistently. And these are not the industry data. These are the data from the customers. So the customers are already searching for e-bikes at this scale. You get it? Do something like put it in chat or do something like, this is really important to understand. Whatever you do, whatever is somebody doing on the market, whatever is somebody selling, the customers already want e-bike. So for instance, if you're in retail and if you think I'm not selling, you know what this means? That somebody else is selling. That's why any no-name, cheap Chinese product can be sold on the internet like no problem, because the customers already want it. They search online, they want the product, and they buy the product. So you have to think what you do on your market. And now you see, for instance, also on the market that the retailers are pushing online, and the online guys are trying to build the retails. And everybody has a problem with the service support. So, but anyway, I went off topic, sorry for that. So you see on the US market, the demand is growing, and it's a little bit more consistent because the country is different, the climate is different. There are not so strong winters, for instance, in California. So you could sell like whole year round in California, and that's a lower difference between summer and the winter. So this is really important. And now France is a country with 70 million people, And the US volume, US is only starting out, but the volume is already at the level of France. So the volume is quite interesting already. Now, you have some data here. So Germany, monthly searches 5.3 million, US monthly searches 3 million, Canada, 320,000. So approximately Canada is doing like 1/10 of the US. So not quite really interesting market for super big thinking. But anyway, on the local market, on your local level, also Canada is interesting because this market is already growing like this. And this is important to see. This is a average monthly search volume in selected countries in Q3, 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2022. So you see, like Germany is already like, let's say, stabilized on 5.3 or around 5.5 million units. But France is also a European country, also stabilized at approximately 2.5 million searches. You get it? So stabilized. US and Canada growing and growing quite intensive. You see that? So this means like in US in 2019 Q3, under 1 million people were searching for e-bike related stuff. In 2022, 3 million people were searching for e-bike related stuff. So it's already a huge market on a month. So this is our data a month. So you understand that? And now this is interesting. This is the online population. So for instance, in Germany, 7% of the population is searching, of the online population, is searching for e-bike related stuff. In the US, it's under 1%. So the search volume of Americans compared to Germans is 1/7 of the number. In France, is a little bit higher, and Canada is similar to US, under 1%. But what you see right here, when you compare it to the whole population, so you see the huge potential where US could grow. So if US would grow only to the level of Germany to 7%, you would see the volume based on the population. So here's some kind of like a takeaway. US market has 4 times the size of German market. And if it was increased the population reach 7 times to the level of Germany, the total unit sales would grow 28 times. So this is huge. Easy to say, easy to say, hard to do on the market. And especially hard to do at scale, right? But anyway, you can do this locally. Because on your local level, you play the game. You have your own rules at your local game. Okay, and this is something like I think really interesting. These are the top searched US e-bike brands. So the people were searching for these brands in this order. Red Power Bike is number 1. Suran, you might ask why, I will explain later. Super 73 number 3, Electric 4, Aventon, Jetson, and like a typical bicycle brand, Trek is on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 position is Trek. Then Specialized, Giant, Cannondale, or Bia. So here you see that who is playing the game. The traditional bicycle brands are not playing the game. Are not playing the game in the US. E-bike specialists are playing the game in the US. And this means that these guys are in their customers' minds. So the customers are not looking for Cannondales. The customers are looking for Super 73 or Red, or even a no-name, not quite no-name, but Electric, or a new brands like Aventon, for instance. Did you hear something about Aventon in 2018? I think no, it was 0. So this is the opportunity, and this is really special for the US market, that you can come to the market and you can build a number 5 top searched brand in 3 years. This is huge, right? So you can come to the market and you can have a no-name brand and build it to really high level within a few years. But this was possible right now. In the future, it'll be much harder. So that's why it'll be important what you do right now, because the future might be a little bit different. Let's go further. And now I will explain why Suran. Suran is an electric motorcycle. Most of the time, I like to speak about pedal-assisted e-bikes or class 1, 2, 3. So I don't like to speak about electric motorcycles, and Suran is like an electric motorcycle. But anyway, you see already now some retailers, some typical bicycle retailers selling Surans because the people are demanding it. It's something between a motorcycle and a downhill bike. So people are already using this and selling these kind of bikes. So in the future, there will be mix of categories. Nobody knows what is an e-bike. And there will be like 2-wheelers, 3-wheelers, cargo e-bikes, 4-wheel e-bikes, cars with pedals, whatever, you name it. So these categories will be completely different for e-bike specialists. And we already can't think only about the bicycles. So if we had some bicycle in mind for the last 30 years, forget it with e-bikes. Forget it with e-bikes. It'll change because this is called like a micro mobility or mobility. So people are buying these tools to get them around the city or to get them sporting somehow or to get them do their recreation. So it doesn't really, they don't really care that it has to look like a bike. So this is like just for you to give you another idea. And this will be like really important. This is an example from my experience. The guy with the black thing at his eyes is my customer, and I have sold his wife an e-bike, a second-hand, a used e-bike, used fat electric bike in 2016 or whatever. After a week, he came and I sold the e-bike to him. Then we have sold e-bikes to his neighbors, to his kids, to his business partners, to his company, to whatever. Then he bought another set of e-bikes. We switched from fat bikes to hardtails. Then we switched to full suspension e-bikes. Then the new full suspension e-bike, the no mountain e-bikes, whatever. At the end, what I wanted to say, I did a great job with selling one used e-bike to a wife of one man. And I did a great job with servicing this one e-bike. And I have sold to this guy another 34 machines within 3 or 4 years. And I have made 120 grand revenue from one customer because it was at the right time. So this was at the right time. The market was growing and I did a good job with sales and service support. And I had many customers like this. So if you do a good job right now on an empty market, you take the best customers right now and they stay with you as long as you do the good services and take care of the customers. So on an empty market, it's really easy to get the best customers and get the best contracts with the best companies. So now is the time to do this. And you can imagine this is only one example, but you can imagine it at scale. So if you would start an e-bike shop, did a really great job and sold 50 e-bikes to customers like this, you could grow like double or triple every year. On autopilot, the customers will come to you if you do a good job. So everybody's like speaking about sales, nobody's really thinking about the customer. So if you think about the customer, do great services, do great support, do great sales, you can grow like crazy. And this plays on the retail side, but also on the online side, also with the brands. You see the brands that have now problems. The brands with problems are those who couldn't support the customers with the service or with something else. So they have the problems because the customer knows that he bought the product is not good, and that nobody takes care of the customer. That's why the landscape now is changing. Okay, some takeaways. The market is already growing, and the demand is here, and it's huge. And there is space for new retailers, new brands, new productions, new services, and whatever. But it won't happen on its own. So you have to be proactive. You just can't wait for something to happen, and you can't listen to the news like there's an economic crisis coming. We have to stop working. We have to wait. What's going to happen? No, now is the time to push really hard. Now everybody is stressing out, so you shouldn't be stressing out. You should be playing hard on the market and grabbing the market share, buying your competitors, whatever. So you should be going big right now because everybody is stressing out. That's great. If everybody's stressing out, so on one side you see the existing industry is stressing out and stabilizing or going a little bit down, but the demand is going up. So there was the exponential growth surprise factor. That's the chance for you. That's the chance for you that you have to grab. Okay, so you should work hard in 2023 to get known and grab the market share, because what you do right now and you get the customers like I show you on the picture, they will come on autopilot in the following years. So you will grow like in 2024, 2025 on autopilot if you grab the best customers right now. And this is a picture that I took maybe 4 weeks ago in one shop. So if a shop like this can survive, anybody can do it, right? A total mess. The guy like really didn't have any manners. It was like a really mess. And this guy could survive with e-bikes. So with e-bikes, anybody can do it now on the market. But don't take this as an example. This is a super mess. I would never wanted to have a shop like this. But anyway, it's possible. Now, if you want some more data, we have the data that I showed you are from our news report. I call it the game changer report because these are really the game changing data. We have like complete training, 50 pages of the data. You can check it out. If you want it, you can get it here. ebikesteve.com, Game Changer VIP. It's a deal for $400, so you can get it. You can, if you sell one bike more, thanks to this data, you already make the money because I don't know, we have $1,000 on a $5,000 e-bike. So if you want, check it out. And now, I don't know who you are, if you're retailers or if you're somebody from outside of the industry or if you are the brands. If you want to really grow and you kind of need help, I'm looking for some people that I will help them this year grow their e-bike businesses to grab the market share and to go big. So if you want to work with me and if you need some help and if you want to scale or grow really fast, let me know to my email and we can discuss how I can help you and we can work together. Okay, so this was the training, the free session. Now, who grabbed already the VIP section? I will end this call and I will jump to the VIP call in like 5 minutes so you can go on the break, grab a coffee, drink some water, and I'll be back in like 5 minutes. Thank you for your attention. And remember, the market is growing and it's up to you what you do right now. So now is the time to grow in the US because the demand is there. And don't stress out about the situation, about the economy, because the people already are demanding the e-bikes and you can grow quite easy right now because trust me, in the future, it'll be much harder because the competition will increase. Anyway, thank you for your attention. Bye-bye.